Welcome to the fourth part of Sahara conflict history. By what right is it possible to keep people living under tents for more than 30 years? By what right can people be kept from moving freely? By what right can children be recruited and inoculated with hate and despair? By what right can people be impeded from living just like everyone else? By what right can a part of the Sahrawi population be forced to live in camps? By what right can human misery be sold to international charitable organizations? These are outright infringements on the most important human rights as they affect the very essence of what it entails to be human and the right to choose and seek fulfillment for oneself and for one's family. The Polisario Front has constantly and deliberately violated the most elementary human rights for over 30 years. For more than 55 years, it has held Moroccan prisoners and their relatives in conditions of unbearable suffering, separated from their families. Why does so much suffering have to be inflicted on these prisoners, who are human beings too? Why to have held them for more than 55 years in unlivable conditions and under the physical, psychological and moral torture that, to say the least, that implies? What? So many questions without a single justifiable reply. This movement was obliged to free them without any political counterpart. The Polisario then set up its headquarters in Hassi Rabuni in Tindouf, and since 1976 has taken over the names of certain people without any legal, historical or legitimate foundations and without slightest consultation with the Sahrawi themselves. The Polisario is a political and military movement that has instituted a system similar to that which exists in former totalitarian countries with single-party system, sole institutions, structures, and bureaucracies, with everything wrapped up in on one-track thinking. It began armed control over the population, using food aid as a tool for permanent blackmail, and control of people in the camps by strict physical, psychological, and moral domination akin to that of political commissaries. The Front instituted denunciation as a method of control. Permanent enlistment, or more particularly brainwashing of both the young and adults is undertaken through the falsification of history, hate preaching, and the manipulation of events. The Polisario is the product of another era, one prior to the collapse of the totalitarian system that held half the world in check before 1991. But it hasn't been affected by any of freedom of but it hasn't been affected by any of the changes that have since ensued. No free elections, no democracy, no plurality, no freedom of expressions, no free opinions, and no civil society. It totally clamped down on everything and partitioned off structures to make them seemingly last forever. All of the political or political military type movements which bore similarly to the Polisario have disappeared from the world since the fall of the Berlin Wall. Either they have changed name, disestablished themselves, or have created new structures corresponding to the new globalized, free and democratic world. Thanks for watching and listening to the fourth part of Sahara conflict history. Goodbye.